We're going to talk about Apollo from VA. This is 510 BCE, painted terracotta, and he's 5 foot 10 inches, which is just a little bit over life size, probably. Ooh, I was just looking for our theme on this. I don't seem to have one, so I'll have to... Oh, it is with the temple. So our theme is going to be the same as sacred sites and rituals, because on the number, it's going... This is from the Minerva Temple, so it's going to be with the Minerva Temple as far as the numbering system goes. All right, originally part of a four-figure scene depicting an ancient Greek mythology where Apollo and Hercules are fighting for the possession of a golden hind, which is basically a deer, and that is sacred to Apollo's twin sister, who was Artemis, while she and Mercury look on. So there would have been the four in the scene: Hercules, Apollo, Artemis, and Mercury, all set on top of the temple. This is a completely Etruscan innovation to use sculpture on top of the roof in this manner, at the peak of the roof. So it would have been set at the very top of the roof. Apollo comes from the Temple of Minerva, as I just mentioned, and is shown boldly striding forward. So we can see that his left leg is lifting off of the ground, which is quite different from the Polycletus in his contrapposto stance. The decorative skull element just helps to support the sculpture. It's similar to the marble sculptures like Doryphorus or other ones that had a tree trunk. It's just there to help support it, to help it stand. So let's go to the next page. The sense of energy is a defining characteristic of the Etruscan sculpture. So he's moving forward. He has the archaic smile, which is very lively. The sculpture may have come down to us from the artist called Vulca. V-U-L-C-A. This sculpture clearly demonstrates the Etruscan artists were familiar with the Greek Kouros from the Archaic period. This is the very same time, so it's interesting to note that they're very, very similar in characteristic. However, if you look at this sculpture as opposed to this one, you can see they're basically the same time period. The Etruscan sculpture is clothed. They are not nude. The Kouros are stoic and proud with an archaic smile to give it life. For the Etruscans, the terracotta work was brilliantly painted, and the figures were more dynamic with more forward-moving poses. So if you were asked to compare these two, the Etruscan is dressed. They both have the braided hair. They both have the archaic smile. However, the Kouros is a little more stiff. He's not moving. He does not have this forward-moving pose. For the Etruscans, the terracotta work was brilliantly painted. The Kouros would have been painted as well. Both the Kouros and Etruscans emphasized the broad shoulders of men and the stylized hair. However, Etruscans avoided nudity. Let's go to the next slide. And there's a short video on this, which I think is in the homework. Apollo is partially concealed by the rippling robe of the cascade and the knife-edge pleats to his knees.